Serious governance concerns have been raised within South Africa's water sector after the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Phumi Majodina, revealed that board members at two major water utilities received millions of rands in unapproved payments over the past 3 financial years. Responding to parliamentary questions from Umkhonto Wesizwe Party Member of Parliament Visvin Reddy, the minister confirmed that board members at Amatola Water and Magalies Water were paid a combined total of approximately 3.7 million rand in excess of approved limits without the legally required ministerial authorization. The disclosures have renewed scrutiny of accountability within state-owned entities responsible for critical public services, particularly at a time when many communities continue to face water shortages, infrastructure failures, and deteriorating service delivery. According to Majodina's response, the irregular payments occurred between the 2022 and 2025 financial years and were linked to board members claiming fees for additional hours of work beyond the maximum allowable limits set by government policy. Amatola Water board members accounted for the bulk of the overpayments, receiving approximately 2.8 million rand, while Magalies Water board members were paid close to 960,000 rand without prior approval from the executive authority. In terms of the policy on board practices and remuneration of board members, any additional work beyond prescribed hours requires explicit approval from the minister before it is undertaken. However, the department discovered that in several instances, boards sought approval retrospectively after the payments had already been made. Majodina said the department raised concerns as early as May 2024 when it became apparent that some water boards were operating outside approved governance frameworks. The ministry made it clear at the time that permission for additional remuneration would only be considered under exceptional circumstances and only if approval was obtained in advance. Despite these warnings, non-compliance persisted. The minister confirmed that a formal investigation was commissioned into Amatola Water, focusing on broader governance challenges, including failures to comply with remuneration policies and board oversight requirements. That investigation has since been completed, and its findings have been submitted to the minister for consideration. Majodina said appropriate action would be taken based on the recommendations contained in the report, signaling that disciplinary or corrective measures could follow. At Magalies Water, the department has also acknowledged governance failures. Majodina indicated that consequence management would be implemented against the board for its continued non-compliance with remuneration rules. The revelations have sparked renewed debate in Parliament about the effectiveness of oversight at water boards, many of which operate under severe financial strain while receiving repeated bailouts from the state. Critics argue that unapproved payments to board members reflect deeper systemic weaknesses, including poor internal controls, inadequate monitoring, and a culture of entitlement within some state-linked institutions. The issue is particularly sensitive given South Africa's ongoing water crisis, where aging infrastructure, mismanagement, and funding shortfalls have left millions of residents vulnerable to water disruptions. In this context, revelations of board-level financial irregularities risk further eroding public trust. MP Visvin Reddy, who posed the questions, has called for stronger accountability mechanisms to ensure that public funds are protected and that board members who violate governance rules are held responsible. The Department of Water and Sanitation has insisted that it is strengthening oversight and tightening enforcement of board remuneration policies to prevent similar violations in the future. However, analysts warn that without swift and visible consequences, such cases risk becoming part of a broader pattern of financial mismanagement across state-owned entities. As Parliament awaits further action from the ministry, the focus now shifts to whether disciplinary measures, recoveries of funds, or leadership changes will follow, and whether this case will mark a turning point in restoring governance integrity within South Africa's water institutions.